Hi, I'm Tony Abou-Gan. I'm back in the cocktail kitchen with a couple of classics. Actually, a classic and a twist on a classic. The first being the Rob Roy. It's a simple drink that really is a twist on the Manhattan, utilizing Scotch whiskey. Now, to begin with, we're going to add some fresh ice, some nice big cube ice, to our mixing glass, because the Rob Roy is a spirit-only drink. And spirit-only drinks should be chilled by stirring. So we're going to season this ice with our modifier, our accent, which is going to be Angostura bitters. So a couple of dashes of bitters. This is a drink that lends itself to utilizing Peychaud bitters as well as orange bitters. So play with different bitters and see what works best for you. We're going to add to this Martini & Rossi sweet vermouth. And at our base, Dewar's White Label Blended Scotch Whiskey. Dewar's is made up of whiskeys from primarily the Highland region of Scotland, which is going to contribute a honeyed heather floral note, which is going to be wonderful with the sweet vermouth. Using our long-handled bar spoon, we put the bowl of the spoon in the bottom of the glass. Is there anything more elegant or swank? Now, we're going to utilize our julep strainer, which works beautifully in the mixing glass, our chilled cocktail glass, and again, in a circular motion starting on the inside. Oh, how swank and elegant is that? Quick twist of the wrist. And for our garnish, we're going to use an orange spiral. Orange and blended malt whiskeys just work really beautifully together. We're simply going to take a navel orange, we're going to clip off the ends into the fruit, and using a citrus zester, we're going to just insert that into the white or the pith of the orange, about 1/8 of an inch, and holding the tool steady, we slowly turn the fruit itself. As we feel it starting to give, we insert it just a little bit deeper into the pith, till we're about, a little more than halfway around. Turn the fruit around and do the exact same thing on this side till I can feel the fruit give from the rind. Now using our sharp knife, and if we've done this correctly, beautiful. The next thing we do is just roll it up very tight. And to hold the shape, we insert a cocktail pick, trim up the ends so they're nice and even. When you're ready to prepare your drink, we simply cut a 1/4 inch spiral, and we're going to express the oils. After all, we're after those beautiful essential oils. Boy, that smells good. That's a lovely classic. Now there's a twist on this drink called the Bobby Burns, named after the Scottish poet. We're going to do a culinary twist here in the cocktail kitchen on the Bobby Burns, and we're going to make it a spiced Bobby Burns. All right, starting with some fresh ice, because this is a spirit-only drink. We'll season that with our Angostura bitters. We're going to add to this Martini & Rossi sweet vermouth. And this time, we're going to go up to the Dewar's 12-year. This is a blended Scotch whiskey that has now been aged 12 years, so that all those beautiful flavors have really come together and intensified. So we get vanilla and rich honey, floral notes, caramel, butterscotch, all those beautiful flavors that the additional oak aging contribute. And what separates a Bobby Burns from a Rob Roy is the addition of liqueur Benedictine. Benedictine is a secret recipe of herbs and spices, and it's got a beautiful honeyed floral herbaceousness that's going to add just another layer of flavor to our drink. Okay, now before we stir that up, we've got to prepare our rim for the glass. And we're going to use some baking spices here. What we've got is ground clove, ground nutmeg, ground cinnamon, and ground ginger, 1/8 teaspoon of each. We're going to add that right into our 1/2 cup of superfine sugar. And I always recommend superfine sugar as opposed to granulated. It just adheres better to a glass. All right, stir up all those beautiful spices. And we don't want any condensation on our glass so that the rim runs. So I've prepared the glass in advance by putting it in the freezer. Now I've taken 1/2 of our orange, and we're just going to rim about 1/4 of an inch of the glass with fresh orange. Now remember, the first thing you're going to taste are the spices and the fresh orange. We roll that in our spice mixture. Okay. Now we'll strain that. And again, the spiral of orange for garnish. Orange just works really well with all the flavors of the Benedictine and 12-year-old Dewar's. Gorgeous. There you have our spiced Bobby Burns, served traditionally with a plate of shortbread cookies. Well, I'm Tony Abugano, and I want to thank you for joining me again in the Cocktail Kitchen. Until our next party together, cheers and happiness.